Hi everyone, welcome to my February TBR. So I have 6 books picked out for my February TBR, and then I'm going to pull 2 TBR prompt cards and see what we get. So I'm going to start with the TBR prompt cards first. So as usual, I have them in this little bag and I'm going to just pull them out, shuffle them, and pick one at random. Okay, so let's just see what we get first. Do the top one. Read a book about a magical city. I have a ton of fantasy that I can pick from, but I'm not sure which one I want to do. Oh wait, I absolutely know. One second. Okay, so this one technically is a magical island, but that is Lightlark. I have so much FOMO about this one and I really want to get to it, so I'm excited that I thought of it for this card. So in this one we have Lightlark, which is an island that shows up every 100 years. Rulers from 6 different realms have to go to Lightlark and kind of like battle, I think, to break their curses. It says that each ruler has something to hide, so I'm very interested and intrigued by that. Our main character is Isla, and it says on the back that she has to lie, cheat, and betray even as love complicates everything. This one sounds incredible to me. I'm so excited. I can't believe I haven't read it yet, but I'm really looking forward to picking this one up in February. Okay, now for the second card. Did I just drop one? No. Okay. This one is choose a book that has a unique magical system. I forgot to mention that my TBR prompt cards are the fantasy version from an Etsy shop. However, most of the time the cards can just go towards any genre, so I just use them loosely. I don't only have them for fantasy. It just so happens that the 2 cards that I picked are very fantasy focused. So for this one, choose a book that has a unique magical system. This one I'm not totally sure what I'm gonna pick. Okay, I know what I want to do for this one. The 3rd book in the Emily Wilde series is coming out in February, I think on February 11th. So I'm going to pick that one for this card. I'm so excited for this book. I loved the first 2 so much. The first one was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and then the sequel was Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherland. So in this series we have Emily Wilde, and she is a dryadologist, I believe. So she studies fairies and fae. She works in Cambridge at a university where she goes on like field studies and studies the fae like out in the wild. And in the first book you see her go somewhere in Scandinavia to study these fairies and these fae. One of her colleagues, Wendell, who is so funny and just so cute and genuine, comes along and randomly shows up, and she is not expecting him at all. So you kind of see them working together. You're seeing into this like magical system and the different aspects to the fairy realms and all of that. So that one I'm very excited for in February. Now to get into the TBR that I've already set, we're going to start with romance, and I picked 2. First one is going to be Things We Hide from the Light, and this is the sequel in the Knock 'Em Out series. The first one is Things We Never Got Over, I'm pretty sure. That might be the 3rd one. No, that's the first one. So this series is really cute. It's like a small town romance, but there is kind of like a mystery setting. And in this one we have 2 characters from the first book, Nash and Lena. So this is their book, and I'm really looking forward to getting to this one. I'm also interested to see how like the mystery component develops and where that's going. The next one that I picked is Out of the Woods, and this one follows up Out on a Limb. It involves the best friend Sarah from Out on a Limb and her husband. Out on a Limb was definitely one of my favorite books of 2024. I absolutely loved it. It was recommended to me by a booktuber, Rochelle, and she knocked it out of the park with this one. I absolutely loved it. I have not seen one person on Booktube or Bookstagram dislike this book. I have only seen like rave reviews. Sarah and her husband Caleb have been high school sweethearts for quite a while. However, since they've been together for so long, Sarah starts to wonder what is she like without Caleb. Based on the synopsis, Sarah kind of wants to prove herself and just kind of figure out who she is. I'm very excited for this one, and I can't wait to get a copy. The next category is fantasy, and I have 3 for this one. However, 2 of them are rolling over from January. So the first one will be Mistborn. I'm not super far into this, about 4 chapters. I'm loving it so far, and I definitely want to finish this one in February. This is the first in the Mistborn trilogy. It's called The Final Empire. There's this group of people called the Ska, and they are enslaved for like 1,000 years, I believe. Yes, it's 1,000 years. Then there's like a hint of a rebellion going on. There's a whole magical system. I thought of picking this for the unique magical system TBR prompt card, but that is major cheating. So I didn't do that, but this actually would definitely have applied. We also have a character who is like an unlikely heroine, and and I think she's being set up to kind of like save the day, maybe be the head of the rebellion. I'm not sure, but I'm absolutely loving this one so far. The next one that is a rollover from January is The Two Towers. Like I've said before, I'm not racing to finish this book in 1 month. My dad and I are buddy reading it. We did The Hobbit, we did Fellowship of the Ring, and now we're doing The Two Towers. We're talking tonight about chapters 8 through 10, and we have discussion questions for each chapter, so he's gonna call and we're gonna talk about it, and it's so fun. So I might finish this in February. It depends on our schedules and how many chapters we can get through. Oh, and obviously it's from Lord of the Rings, so I'm not gonna go into the synopsis for that because it is Lord of the Rings. I don't really need to go into the synopsis, but that one I'm really liking. It is a bit slow. It is kind of a slog. The chapters are super long. There's a lot of detail, but I'm really happy that I'm finally getting to reading this series. Lastly, for fantasy is I'm going to be doing a reread of the ACOTAR series with one of my friends, and we're going to start with obviously the first one, ACOTAR. I'm really looking forward to rereading this. I've only read each book in the series once, so I'm looking forward to going back, rereading them, seeing if there's any Easter eggs, and having a hindsight point of view of what's going on in the books. I think it's going to be really fun. Lastly, the category is thrillers, and I only have one for this one, and it's called Nowhere. This one I'm so excited to get to. I don't want to read the synopsis because there's a blurb at the top that kind of explains what it is, and that's all I want to know. So it says, True Detective meets the outsider in the spine-tingling and twisty debut about a series of disappearances in a small fundamentalist town and what one broken family must do to remain together as dark forces close in. I am so excited to get to this one. It seems so dark, twisty, thrilling, interesting, maybe a bit culty, which are all elements that I love in thrillers, so I'm really looking forward to getting to this one. So quickly, just a recap of my February TBR. For my first prompt, which was read a book about a magical city, I have Light Lark. And then for choose a book that has a unique magical system, I have the third in the Emily Wilde series, which comes out in a couple weeks. Then I have Things We Hide from the Light. Then I have Out of the Woods. Then I have The Two Towers. Then I have Mistborn. And then I have ACOTAR. And lastly, I have Nowhere. I'm so excited for this TBR. I think those are great books to have. I'm so excited about the 2 books from the prompt cards that I got. I've mentioned before that I really want to stick to my monthly TBRs in 2025. I'm doing a pretty good job in January. The wrap up will be posted in a bit. And I'm currently doing a reading vlog of reading my January TBR. Let me know if you've read any of these, what your thoughts are, if you like them, if you didn't like them, what you're most excited about to read in February, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!